Yo, what is going on, Swamp Meat? I know I'm a little late, but we got our little Frito Pie, formerly known as Turbo Hair, but now known as just Turbo. So we got Frito Pie Turbo here. I'm gonna be just like honest. I could care less about this character. Uh, quite honestly, if I wasn't doing like YouTube and just wanted to get my thoughts out about all the characters and stuff in this game, I would have just skipped her on both accounts. But with that being said, like no bias against her, whatever. I think she's an okay character. I don't think she's necessarily bad, but she just feels okay. And there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think every character needs to be this like spectacular character that's I don't know how to play it. Like I guess super OP because she doesn't feel OP. She just feels okay for a modern day DPS in Snowbreak. Um, But like, quick rundown of how she works. With her standard skill, basically, you need to dodge a lot, and then she goes into her little Naruto run animation that I'll probably show here. Basically, when she does this, she gains or she enters this celestial turbo sprinting state, right, her Naruto run for 2 seconds. Reloading does not affect this state, but falling will interrupt it. So basically, whenever you reload while you're running, you don't stop to reload. You just keep running while reloading. It's simple. While you're in this Naruto state, you gain 6 supercharge every 0.1 seconds. Dodging again while in this state refreshes duration, leaving field clears all supercharge. For every 2% increase or decrease in stamina recovery, your supercharge acquisition rate increases or decreases by 1% respectively, up to 50%. Um, Basically, I'm assuming is that as long as it's increasing, you gain more supercharge by up to 50%. And then when your stamina decreases, I guess the supercharge decreases by 1%. I'm not exactly sure how this works. To be honest with you, I don't notice it in gameplay. So take that with a grain of salt. Um, when supercharge is 40 or greater, Fritia can then use her standard skill to enter her super shot stance, which is basically where the majority of her damage will come from. Arguably all of it. I'll explain later. While in this state, she cannot move, but she gets a 20% damage reduction, and her hip fire shots have like an aim assist tracking frame. Basically, you get aimbot. Either you go for the body or you go for the head. Depends on where you're aiming. I guess, like for example, if you're aiming like around center mass, more than likely she's gonna aim at the body. And if you're aiming slightly above the head, you're gonna go for the head. Um, it's very simple. While in this stance, if you use her standard skill again, dodge, reload, or supercharges less than 40, she will exit said stance. And while in the stance, her shots consume 40 supercharge each. Her rate of fire is increased by 120, and her base crit damage is fixed at 100%. And weapon compatibility is specifically fixed as well. And then after you exit said stance, it goes into cooldown. So this is where my lack of knowledge in this game really comes into play, because when it says base crit damage is fixed at 100%, I'm assuming that her base crit damage before any outside buffs that come from, I'm assuming like logistics, for example, instead of being at the 60% it normally is, which if you go down here down to weapon crit damage is at 60%. It then bumps up to 100, so you get an extra 40% crit damage without any outside influence. As you can see here, like I don't believe I have crit damage on my pieces. I know they're bad, but it is what it is. Um, and honestly that's fine because I'm assuming that she gains crit damage anyway from like logistics and stuff. So this is really that's fine. Uh, Rate of fire, I mean, it allows you to spam quicker, and weapon compatibility is an interesting stat, as she's the only character I could think of that actually mentions this somewhere in her kit. And from what I've gathered, it's like some sort of attack buff thing, I guess. Um, Let me see. Like here it says 136%. I wonder if it's like this boost. Let me see. I'm not 100% sure what this is. All I know is that it has something to do with like the attack boost you get from the weapon or something like that. If someone could explain this to me in the comments, I would appreciate it. But I believe it has something to do with the attack. Your supercharge limit is 120, and then of course your weapon compatibility is extremely high at 245. Um, the neural skills for the skill or standard skill, let's say that, The first one is you recover 15 stamina for each shot hit in super stance or Naruto stance, basically. That's important because uh, stamina is the main resource you're going to find yourself struggling with this character. So, recovering stamina is very important. And then, the second skill, whenever she's equipped with a chaos weapon, which you should have one equipped because the free weapon is a chaos weapon, the standard skill does not consume S energy and cooldown decreases to 1 second. This is also big because you only need to manage one resource, which again is stamina. Um, the only issue with this, or with this whole skill I have, is that, like, legitimately, I shit you not, if you do not have this weapon, like her summonable weapon, like, that stamina cost gonna hit you real quick. Because, so both weapons decrease, like, the stamina cost of dodging, but it's drastically different between the two. Currently, I have a free weapon at tier 4, and the stamina cost reduction never goes up, I don't believe. Yeah, it remains the same across the board. So, you only get a 25% decrease of stamina with the free-to-play sniper. And I did notice for my limited time using her that it is very noticeable between this 25 and the 75 her summonable weapon gets. So, with that in mind, like, if you are a Frito-Pie lover, you just adore her. I feel like her weapon is the first and might be the only time I will ever say that might be a must summon, just purely for the quality of life you get, because you will run out of stamina after 3 or 4 uh, Naruto shot, or not the every 3 or 4 uses of her skill. You're probably gonna run out of stamina, and that's pushing it. Versus with her weapon, like, I didn't really run out of stamina, to be honest. Um, sure, I got low a bit, but to be honest with you, like, if I tighten up my gameplay a bit and quite honestly just used her more efficiently, like, I probably wouldn't have stamina problems with her summonable weapon. But anyway, that's your standard skill. With the support skill, I mean, it just does damage. Like, all this extra description and stuff is kind of irrelevant. It just deals damage. Um, her neural skill forward increases duration of her movement because I believe she just runs in and deals damage to all enemies. I'm not sure how it works. Again, it's irrelevant. Um, However, you can use this in uncontrollable state and dispel states. So, for example, if you are stunned, I know there's some stage in the I forgot the name of the mode. Let me see, in the underground purge that has like electric stuff on the field and it stuns you. You can use this to break out a stun. I'm just using it as an example because that's the only one I can think of. Um, her ultimate skill. So whenever her supercharge is 40 or greater, Frito-Pie can use her ultimate skill. It consumes all your supercharge to fire one God-Bane pulse in front, dealing chaos damage. When consuming above 40 supercharge, increase God-Bane pulse, such a mouthful, final damage by 2.5% for every one additional supercharge consumed. So I'm assuming you get, at max, assuming you charge her supercharge all the way to the max of 120, you get 80 stacks of this 2.5. So if I had to guess, that's probably around 200% extra damage. This is off the top of my head. I'm probably off with that, but I'm sure I put the number up, or if I don't, some number nerd might know. But anyway, additionally, you increase the AoE of your ultimate for every additional 40 supercharge consumed. Does it tell us how much? Not exactly. A nice quality of life with this is that starting with the second use of her ultimate skill, it just animation cancels. So you won't have to go through the long ultimate animation anymore. Similarly to Anniversary Life. If anybody uses her, you would know that once you use the ultimate for a second time, it doesn't play the ultimate animation. The neural skills for the ultimate is that the damage dealt by the ultimate can be affected by ballistic damage bonuses, and you recover 30 stamina after using the ultimate. The 30 stamina is nice because you do need to consume stamina in order to build up your supercharge. And damage dealt can be affected by ballistic bonuses. That actually is not too bad because I do believe the Anniversary Finny, I think her support skill increases ballistic damage or something. I know it's just attack. I thought it was ballistic damage. Either way, that's solid. Would you ever use this ultimate? More than likely, no. It's kind of irrelevant. Again, most of her damage comes from the skill and shooting. Her Deimos alignment is that for each 1 ammo capacity of your equipped weapon, it increases Frito Pie's chaos damage by 3% up to 20. For each 100 alignment index, the ratio increases by 0.5. This one's interesting. I wish I did research on this before I recorded. I'm not sure if this includes Anniversary Finney's little support skill, because that does give you, with the standard weapon, or not standard weapon, the summoned weapon, I do believe you get 10 bullets with the special magazine. So I'm not sure if that stacks with the special plus the normal, or just whatever the current magazine is. Either way, it's just free chaos damage. In terms of her logistics, I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel like it's like attack, crit damage, or alignment index. Those are the only 3 stats, because crit rate is borderline useless as long as you hit your headshots or weak point shots, basically. Of course, HP is useless, S energy useless, U energy useless. On her specifically, mind you. I think that covers all the base stats you can get. So realistically speaking, it really is a toss-up. You really just want attack, crit damage, or alignment index on your logistics, with of course chaos damage being the third buff, or third stat, I mean. Yeah. In terms of her manifestations, I went over it, but to be quite honest with you, I feel like either M2 or M3 would probably be the stopping point. Hell, I would probably argue you could stop at M1. Stop at M3 at most, honestly. Because I looked at the rest, like post M3, and really it's not really that big of a buff. Like it put, like her M5, like you get a 20% attack bonus or increase, which is fine, I guess. But that pretty much covers her up. Thankfully, she's like a very simple character, to be honest. Like, I feel like I had a significantly easier time understanding her than understanding Katya, which I don't think I have on this account. But to be honest, like, I just don't care. Like, she's not a character where I'm like, I'm so happy she's out. I never cared about little Frito Pie. Yeah, like, I don't know. I think my biggest gripe is the big difference between these 2 weapons, because it's extremely noticeable, man, and it does feel worse to play her with the free-to-play option. So if you can't get her weapon, I'll probably encourage that. But if anybody's new around here, I don't usually do that. I usually just say, like, going for main weapons is pretty much useless, because there is no content that requires you to beat things quicker outside of Neurosim. And even then, the rewards you get for doing that in Neurosim are irrelevant. It's just cosmetics. And even then, the cosmetics only last a week of the fucking Neurosim. So you don't even really get anything special. So with that being said, like, I think this is the only character where I would argue that I can think of that's like, yeah, like, go for it, please. Because it just makes her gameplay so much smoother. But other than that, like, that's pretty much all I really have to say about her. For now, I guess for now, I want to show this off. I do. I haven't done this yet. I've been slacking. But, like, let me pull out her weapon here. We're just going to ignore any damage, because, like, again, like, it doesn't matter, honestly. I sound so cynical when I say that, but it's true. So as you see here, like, look, let's see. 1, 2 uses and I'm out of stamina, right? It's blatantly obvious, and then I could just do that and then go back in here. Bam. Like, it's like you see here, like, I can't maintain it forever. Like I said, like 4 or 5, you're done. You're done. Right? You're gonna have to wait until you gain more stamina. And it just does not feel good to play her like that. Versus if you see with her signature here, which we're gonna go into this, check this out. Like, it's significantly different. It's very noticeable how different. Like, look how much stamina I have after 2 uses back to back, right? Like, it's so crazy how much of a difference the signature makes. Like, again, not worried about damage, but yeah. Like it's honestly like insane, right? And she doesn't do bad damage, right? That's just me, no buffs, no nothing, just messing around, showing that off. So you pop out some quick damage really quick with her, but other than that, that's about it. Anyway, I pretty much said my piece about little Frito Pie here. Um, she's a character. Uh, I don't think there's nothing wrong with going for her, but I wouldn't consider her like a must summon. Like, honestly speaking, Anniversary Life is probably the best character to go for in this patch. She just is. She feels smoother to play. She's not as reliant on her weapon. She just, I don't like. I feel like she's way more flexible in the content she can be used in. And quite honestly, I think a lot of the issues I would have with Frito Pie is due to the fact that she is a sniper. And again, like there's really no bossing content that makes it, that makes it necessary to run like a single target character. So you can get away with just pulling for life and then saving for any other character you want in the future. Um, but with all that being said, you spend your money however you want to spend your money, if you spend money or crystals or whatever. Um, yeah. So that's pretty much what I'm gonna call it here. I appreciate anybody who's stuck around long enough to deal with my inconsistent schedule when it comes to uploading. Um, in terms of like my Snowbreak stuff, I'm not 100% sure what I'm gonna do after this because my main issue with Snowbreak is that after the character comes out, there's really nothing to talk about. So if anybody has any ideas, let me know. I think I did have one idea that I could do, but I'll see how I do, or how I feel about it. But anyway, I'll see you guys later. Let me know how y'all feel about little Frito Pie and if you pulled for her. And if you did pull for her, how did it go? Yeah, I don't remember my summons. I think I mostly did singles. Anyway, I'll see you all later. Hope you have a great day. And yeah, that's it.